हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण। कौन? So all Raipur boys? Okay. The good name? Ashish from Raipur. Rajat. Nitesh. You are from? Orissa. Where are you studying? Orissa. Okay, you are doing job now. Others is from Raipur. Satish, you are from BTA. Aman. Okay, so there is a verse in Ramayana which is quoted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami, and of course written by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Sri Chaitanya Chaitamrita. So we'll read that verse. So reading from Sri Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 22, the process of devotional service, verse number 34. So if you want to refer, it's Madhya Leela, chapter 22, verse number 34. It's a very popular verse. Sakrit eva prapanno yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vritam mama. 22.34 Madhya Leela 22.34. Okay. Sakrit eva prapanno yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vritam mama. Sakrit eva prapanno yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vritam mama. Want to recite?
Sakrideva prapanno yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vritam mama. Sakradeva prapanno yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vritam mama. Sakrit once only, eva certainly, prapanna surrendered, ya anyone who, tava yours, asmi I am, iti thus, cha also, yachate praise, abhayam
fearlessness, sarvada, always, tasmai, unto him, dadami, I give, etat, this, vritam, wow, mama, my. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, My dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. Purport. This verse from the Ramayana, Yuddha Kand 18.33, was spoken by Lord Ramchandra. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome to all of you, including those who are online. So we see, even though there is lockdown, pandemic, and lots of difficulties, still now, because Ram Navami is coming, we all are joyful and enthusiastic. This is the nature of absolute truth. When Krishna appeared in the jail of Kans, Devaki, Vasudev, all the Mathura Vasis, and the cows, and the deers, and the peacocks, and the monkeys, and the lions, and the tigers, and the trees, and the plants, and the sun, and the moon, and the stars, and the river, and the ocean, and the air, everybody is jubilant when Krishna appears. So when Krishna appears on earth planet, all elements are jubilant. Same way when Krishna appears in our heart, then every single organ of our body will be jubilant. Every single sense, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, will be jubilant, enlightened, enlivened. All holes of the body will be illumined. That's when Krishna appears. So this process of devotional service is going to give us so much joy. It is already giving us joy, and as we continue, it's going to give us so much joy, because Krishna is Sat, Chit, Anand. Anand means perfect happiness, bliss, perfect joy. All good? Perfect joy. So the appearance day of Lord Ramchandra, Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityanand Prabhu, Lord Vara, Lord Vaman, Parshuram, Balaram, Srimati Radharani, Mother Sita. These appearance days are called Mother of Devotion. They give birth to bhakti in our heart. They increase our enthusiasm to practice devotional service. So it's very great opportunity to continue our bhakti.
We are already doing bhakti. Such days help us to increase our enthusiasm, to increase our dedication by hearing about Krishna, by chanting and dancing, by offering prayers, by increasing our intensity of sadhana, by doing services and preaching. This is Krishna's great opportunity, who is giving us these festivals. And festivals is the time where more and more people join Krishna consciousness. Especially now it's lockdown, but otherwise on Ram Navami, thousands of people will come to temple, who otherwise would not come on that day, say Wednesday or Thursday. They would not come. But because Ram Navami, let's go to see the birthday boy, to see Krishna. And Lord Ramchandra is very merciful. And on Ram Navami, he is more merciful. Right? His mercy increases on his appearance day. Just like some children in the school, when it is their birthday, they carry chocolate in the bag. And what they do? They give it to everybody in the classroom. Right? Other days, also they have chocolate in the bag, but they don't give. But on birthdays they distribute. Why? Birthday means extra mercy. So Lord Ramchandra is extra merciful on Ram Navami day. Whatever you ask, he will give you. He is so merciful. So it's nice we are getting this opportunity to share about him. So overall Ramayana most of us know, so I don't want to go into that. I'll share some pastimes, less known, or some lessons, some philosophy. So one childhood first time I recall here is when Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughan, they were ready to start their education. So Maharaj Dashrath, he took the 4 boys and went to the ashram of Vasishtha Muni. And he told Vasishtha Muni, you teach them how to be good king and how to be a good warrior, Kshatriya, and Vedic knowledge and knowledge of how a king should rule, how they should fight, use Dhanurvidya, use the bow and arrow. So he requested Vasishtha Muni. Vasishtha Muni accepted the king's order. He said, yes, I will teach them. They will stay in the Gurukul. And Dashrath also stayed in the Gurukul. He said, I can't stay without Ram. I can't stay without them. So I will stay here and I will see how their education is going. I don't want to miss this pastime of how Ram is getting educated. Vasishtha Muni said, no, you don't stay here. You go. You leave the premises. I will teach them. Don't worry. Dashrath said, why should I go? I am the king of the land. I want to sit here. Who can say no to me? And plus there is nothing wrong. If the father wants to see the education of the child, that's normal. What is wrong in that? Vasishtha Muni said, look, this education is not normal. So normal laws don't apply here. He said, why? He said, look, does anybody give birth to children through sweet rice? That's not normal, right? So this is not normal. So you please go. So Dashrath said, okay, I am going. As soon as Dashrath left the 4 boys there, immediately Vasishtha Muni got up and paid full Dandavat Pranam to Lord Ram. That is why he told Dashrath to go. Otherwise Dashrath will get very confused. He said, then how will he teach? Then he folded his hands. He said, my dear Lord, whenever you take a human pastime, you accept somebody as your spiritual master. Even though you don't need to do that, but that is your Leela. Like even Krishna Balram, they accepted Sandipani Muni as their guru, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Srila Ishwar Puri as his spiritual master. So why does Krishna does that? Why do Krishna does? To teach us that when I am coming in the human form, I accept a spiritual master. Who are you not to do that? Who are you to think that without accepting a bona fide spiritual master, you can advance in spiritual life? We can't. We can't advance in bhakti just by reading books. Independent study of books will not help us. The knowledge has to be realized by hearing, submissive oral reception, and by service, by having a service attitude. Pariprashnena sevaya, by submissive inquiries and by service attitude, menial service. We need training to learn Krishna consciousness, to learn Abhideya, the practice of devotional service. So Vashish Muni said, my dear Lord, I will do this service of being a spiritual master. But as a spiritual master, sometimes I may have to order you or chastise you. Do this, do that. So I beg forgiveness. Please don't mind. Please don't take it as an offense, because that is my service in this pastime. So their studies started, ABCD they started, alphabets and all. Ram, Lakshman were always together. And all the four boys were very eager to learn bow and arrow, shooting bows and arrows and with the bow, very eager. But Vashish Muni said, for that you'll have to little bit grow up. So he didn't allow them. But still they were very eager, so they will carry toy bow and arrow. Not that actual one, small one, toy bow and arrow they will carry. Just to enjoy, and I am a Kshatriya, I should have bow and arrow. Like we give toy kitchen to the girls, okay, you cook in the house. So they carry toy bow and arrow. So once outside the ashram, there's a river, and Ram Lakshman were walking on the shore. So one Mataji, she filled a water pot from the river, and she was walking towards Ram Lakshman with the water pot, heavy water pot. And earlier they would wear big nose rings. So she was wearing a very big nose ring. Now I don't know, earlier they used to wear. Earlier sometimes mothers used to wear so big nose ring that children can catch the nose ring and walk, so that they are not go away somewhere. So Lakshman, he started laughing. He told Lord Ramchandra, look, such a big nose ring she is wearing. It's bigger than she is wearing. It is bigger than her penis. So Ram also started laughing. So Lakshman said, I think we should reduce, it's too big. And with a toy bow and arrow, Lakshman shot an arrow which went near her nose, didn't touch her, poured some liquid on the nose ring, and the nose ring became small. Poured some mystic liquid. But it became too small and her nostril got choked and she couldn't breathe. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So the nose ring became so small that she couldn't breathe. So she started shouting, help, help! So Lakshman got afraid. Can we change this?
Cool, let me remove it.
So Lakshman got afraid. He said, if Vashish Muni comes to know we are using bow and arrow and playing this masti, doing masti, he will punish us. He told Lord Ram. Lord Ram said, don't worry, I will take care. And Lord Ram shot another arrow. So some more mystic liquid came to the nose ring without touching her nose, and it became proper size. Now she could breathe. So then Lakshman also breathing. Okay, good. So by the time the lady came near Ram, Lakshman said, hey boys, what are you doing? Lakshman said, Mataji, don't worry, everything is okay. He said, what did you do? He said, Mataji, I shot an arrow to reduce the size of a nose ring, but it became too small. So my brother shot an arrow and now it's normal. Now you can breathe. She said, how can you do that without touching? She couldn't believe. So Lakshman said, that's not a big deal. We can do something more than this. We can make a nose ring fly also. Mataji said, impossible. Lakshman said, I will show you. He shot another arrow, and that arrow didn't touch her nose, her body. It just touched the nose ring, and the nose ring flew in the sky. And she got afraid. She again started shouting, help, help, what is happening? Again Lakshman became fearful that Vasishtha Muni will come to know and he will chastise me. So he told Lord Ram. Lord Ram said, don't worry, I will take care. So Lord Ram shot another arrow and fixed the nose ring back on the nose. So that's one childhood pastime, where they have not yet started learning bow and arrow, with toy bow and arrow. So Lord Ram, he doesn't need to learn. In Bhagavad Gita is said, among the all who use bow and arrow, Krishna says, I am Ram. Because Lord Ram is so expert in using bow and arrow. In the Dandakaranya forest, there were 14,000 Rakshasas headed by Khar and Dushan. And Lord Ramchandra killed them in 2 hours. And when Lord Ramchandra shoots arrows, at no point anybody who is observing can say that now he removed the arrow, now he kept it, now he pulled the string, and now he shot it. No point you can say that, because he does all these 4 simultaneously. That means his pulling of arrow and shooting, he does so fast that when you see him, you see a circle here. His hand like this. Fan is a circle, but actually there is no circle. There are 4 blades, but he has only 1 blade, 1 hand. And he'll do so fast, you'll see a circle here. So fast he shoots arrows. So 14,000 soldiers he killed in 2 hours. So in 2 hours, how many arrows he must have shot? Thousands of arrows he must have shot. So in 1 minute, how many he must have? Hundreds of arrows he must have shot in 1 minute. So fast he is. At the end is okay? You remember? Thank you. You can write down if you want. So Lord Ramchandra is so fast. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Ramayan, Lord Ram appeared, Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Dushkrita, to kill the demons and protect the devotees, protect the demigods, protect the devotees, Rishi Munis, protect Mother Sita, and to kill Ravan, Kumbhakaran, Indrajit, and so many other demons. Ravanasur is so powerful that he defeated everybody, including Indra. Except Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, he defeated everybody. For him, demigods and humans, animals, Ravana never attacked human and animals, thinking that they are not worth it. When Ravana did tapasya to take boon from Brahma, the boon he asked is, I should not get defeated or killed by demigods, demons, Rakshasas. He didn't ask for human and animals. He didn't ask that boon. Why? Because he thought, who worries about humans and animals? And that Ravana was defeated by monkeys. If you are defeated by your equal, it's okay. But if you are defeated by monkeys, how big insult it is. But Ravana, he is personified all anarthas: lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion. Out of his lust, he kidnapped Mother Sita. And more than that, he had raped so many women in his life. And he had forced weddings and forced kidnapped so many women, so many princes and devis in his life. That's lust. And greed. He wanted Lanka to be of gold. And he would harass everybody to get treasure, to get gold. That was his greed. And anger. He was always angry on demigods and Vaishnavas. He was a very violent person. He would kill Rishi Munis, extract their blood. He was so violent person. And he was envious of Lord Ram. He never liked to hear any glorification of Lord Ram. An illusion, he think, oh, I am God. He used to say, I am Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he was so proud. Even when he was about to be defeated, he didn't agree to go and beg forgiveness from Lord Ram. If he had went and begged forgiveness from Lord Ram, he would have been saved. So even when he was defeated and he knew my end is near, he didn't go. That was his pride. There's one very nice episode, interesting episode about his pride. When all the monkeys, they camped, they crossed the breach and camped outside Ravana's palace, Ravana went to his terrace to see. So from Ravana's palace, whenever he goes, he used to see three things. Blue ocean, very big, and forest green, very big, huge, and his own gold city, very huge. So from the terrace you can see three scenes: blue, green, golden. His whole golden city he used to see, ocean blue water, hundreds of miles, and forest green, hundreds of miles. So this time when the monkeys camped and he went up on the terrace, what did he see? Blue, golden and brown. He didn't see green. So many monkeys. So many monkeys. So he was surprised. He said, so many monkeys exist. So he sent his minister, find out how many monkeys are there. Give me the count of the enemy troops. So when the spy came, the minister came, he brought a whiteboard. And he was thinking, oh, kuch PPT presentation hoga. He was happy. So in that whiteboard they started writing numbers, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Ravana got angry. He said, what nonsense is happening here? This is mathematics class or what? I just told you to find out how many monkeys are there. Why are you teaching me mathematics? The minister said, look, to tell you how many monkeys are there, the final figure, first I have to tell you how to count. Because there are too many monkeys. And the final figure is 10 raised to 70, 70. It's called one Maha in Sanskrit. 1 followed by 70 zeros. Today modern mathematics doesn't have a name for this. That many monkeys were there. So Ravana was surprised. It seems all monkeys of the universe are here. So he was thinking, as such, I can't be defeated by 2 humans and few monkeys and bears. But who knows, anything can happen in war. So maybe I should find out an ally, a friend, who in case of crisis can help me. Then he thought, whom should I go? Demigods? They are not worth it. Rakshasas? They are not worth it. Then he thought of Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj is a demon. Demon family, not demon family, Asura. And he stays in Sutaluk. And is very powerful and very charitable. He also had won over the whole universe at one point of time. And he is very charitable. He gave everything to Vamandev. So he can give charity to me also. And biggest thing is, he is my great grandfather. Bali Maharaj is Ravana's great grandfather. So Ravanasur thought, I'll take help from Bali Maharaj. So straight he went to Sutalok. Now Sutalok security head is Vamandev. Small height, standing with a club, silent. So Ravana saw this small Brahmana. Ravana didn't feel like asking him. It's too much for him. So he straight went without asking him. He stopped him with his club. Said, cannot go. So Ravana made him invisible, himself invisible. So he is Siddhi. But he cannot be invisible to Vamandev. He again stopped him. So the Ravana became so tiny, thinking that I'll go below the door. But Vamandev saw some tiny creature going. He put his feet on that. But he didn't kill him. But then finally he allowed him to go. So Ravana came to Bali Maharaj and said, oh, my dear Bali Maharaj, my great grandfather, please accept my namaskar. Bali Maharaj was surprised. He said, how come you came inside? He said, I am Trilokeshwar. Nobody can stop me. I can go anywhere. He said, didn't my guard stop you? He said, nobody can stop me. He said, impossible. Vamandev cannot fail. So Bali Maharaj closed his eyes for a few seconds. He saw. He had a CCTV, built-in CCTV. He saw what happened. He said, oh, you became small, then he put his feet on you, and then he mercifully left you. Ravana was surprised. He said, how do you know? He said, don't worry, I know everything. He said, who is he should show me mercy? He said, he is God. He said, no, I am Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am Bhagwan. Bali Maharaj said, okay, tell me, how come you came here? He said, look, I came to take some help from you. Bali Maharaj said, wow, Bhagwan taking help from me? I must be bigger Bhagwan. Ravana said, look, I am in trouble. He said, what happened? He said, you know, some monkeys are there and 2 young humans are there. They are outside my kingdom, outside my city, to wage a war with me. Actually, I am not afraid. Monkeys, I am not afraid. But you know, anything can happen. So if a crisis happens, will you help me with your army? That's why I have come. He said, humans? Which humans? He said, 2 beggars are there. Vanvasis, forest dwellers, Vanagochara. So Bali Maharaj closed his eyes. He said, oh, is that Ram Lakshman, sons of Dashrath? He said, yes, same Ishwaku wala, that Ishwaku dynasty. So many times I have killed Ishwaku kings, but they still keep coming. He said, who are the monkeys? He said, I don't know. One monkey I know. He came 1 year before, not 1 year before, few days before, and he burnt whole city. I had to make the whole city again. Another monkey I know. He came to give some message and we couldn't move his toe, Angad. And one more monkey I know. He came on my terrace and spat on me. You know, Sugriv, he jumped once on terrace and spit on Ravana's face. Others I don't know. So Bali Maharaj said, look, one monkey burnt your whole city. Another toe you cannot move. And third came and spit on you in your own palace. And now there are 10:70 outside. Do you really think you should go for a war? Any intelligent person will think, oh, I should not go for a war. He said, no, I just need some help. Bali Maharaj said, I can help you with a nice advice. He said, what is your advice? Give Sita back. Impossible! I will not give Sita back. You are my great grandfather. You help me. Bali Maharaj said, look, I am your great grandfather since many years. Only today you remember me. Never mind. We will talk about this politics later. Since you have first time come to me, my great grandson, I want to give you a gift. Ravana said, okay. He said, come with me outside. So they went outside the palace. There was a big ground. Very big ground. Maybe 70-80 miles circumference. And there was a big mountain. Full gold mountain. That also 70-80 miles in height. So 70 by 70 miles mountain. Full pure gold with diamonds. And so big diamonds that Ravana can see his whole body in that, like a mirror. So Ravana was surprised to see golden mountain with so many diamonds, thousands of diamonds. And in his mind he thought, if I get one diamond, that will be so nice. This is because more than the reserve I have. So Bali Maharaj said, Ravana, you see this mountain with so many thousands of diamonds? He said, yes. He said, whole mountain is yours, gift. Ravana was shocked. He said, are you talking about one diamond or whole mountain? He said, I am talking about whole mountain as a gift for you. Ravana thought, good, I don't have to go back to Lanka only. I'll take this and make some other city. But Bali Maharaj had one condition. He said, what? He said, you have to lift it personally and take it to Lanka. Ravana said, what a big deal, I have lifted Kailash Parvat. This is not a big deal. He said, go ahead. So Ravana went to lift. He tried hard, very hard, high strain, but he couldn't move it 1 inch. Finally he said, impossible. I can't lift, it's very heavy. So Bali Maharaj said, why don't we just go around the mountain and see how it is? So he went around. He said, what do you think this is? He said, looks like a earring. The shape of the mountain was like of a earring. He said, looks like a earring. Bali Maharaj said, correct. This is Hiranyakashipu's earring. When Hiranyakashipu was killed, his earring fell down in Sutal Lok. And my dear great grandson, in your last life you were Hiranyakashipu. Now your strength has reduced so much, you can't lift your own earring. And that Ram, in last avatar is Narsingadev, one of the avatars, who killed Hiranyakashipu. And his strength has not reduced. Now you tell me, do you want to fight or not? What did Ravana say? I will fight. That was his pride. And he got defeated. He got killed because of his sinful activity of kidnapping Mother Sita. But after that, so many people, including Bali Maharaj, told him to give it up, including his wife, including his brother Vibhishan, including his relatives, including his own son, and including Kumbhakaran, his other brother, and including his minister. Initially they were saying, okay, we will fight, but as the war was progressing and one by one commanders were dying, they were telling him, give up the fight. But Ravana didn't give up. So initially it was because of his lust, but eventually he died not just because of his lust, he died because of his pride. That I am God, I am great. So lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, very dangerous. And pride is very subtle, wherein we value ourselves more than what we are supposed to value. And in that time, we disrespect seniors, or we take wrong decisions, or we value less others. And that is a recipe for disaster in spiritual life. That's a recipe to perform offenses. So pride is very dangerous. So we should not be proud of what we have, or what we do, or what others say good about us. We should not be proud. Pride means Maya taking you on a ride, and you will glide and hide. Better to avoid. So pride is very dangerous. Mother Sita is Lakshmi Devi, and Lakshmi Devi is supposed to serve Narayan, Lord Vishnu, Lord Ram. But Ravana separated them, and that's not good. Hanuman united them, and that's why he celebrated devotee. He is successful. So we should not do Ravana's job of separating Sita and Ram, separating Lakshmi and Narayan. We should do Hanuman's job of uniting Lakshmi and Narayan. But most of the people who are not devotees, they are Ravanas. Because they separate Sita and Ram. They separate Lakshmi and Ram, Lakshmi and Narayan. They keep Lakshmi in their bank account and Narayana is in the temple. Separated. So any earning member of the society should not separate Lakshmi and Narayana. He should use his income to serve Lord Ram, to serve Lord Krishna. So when we are earning members of the society, part of our income should be used in charity, to cows, to devotees, and to Krishna, to Ram. Then only our income is purified, our job is purified, our eating is purified, our shopping is purified, our family is purified, our house is purified. Otherwise that same money is sinful, and it will give us entanglement, material entanglement, karma bandhan. It will entangle us in the cycle of birth and death. So whatever we do it for Lord Ram. Then there is no entanglement. If we do it for ourselves, there is entanglement. If tomorrow you find a news of a person who burned a building, went and burned a building, what will you call him? Mad, criminal, terrorist. He burned a building. What about somebody who burned a city? Terrorist square, or ISKCON language, Maha-terrorist, supreme terrorist, right? Supreme personality of terrorism. Hanuman burned the whole city. Do we call him terrorist? We call him Jai Bajrangbali, we worship him. Why? Because he burned the city for Ram. So if you burn a whole city for Ram, no problem. But if you burn the gas for yourself, problem. Even cooking for ourselves is sinful if we don't offer to Krishna. That doesn't mean you go out and burn the city now. That's for Hanuman. But what we learn is good and bad is defined by whether Krishna is pleased or not. Burning city is good or bad. In general, bad, but it's defined whether Krishna is pleased or not. Taking a blade and cutting somebody's body is bad, but when doctor does it, We call it surgery and we say thank you very much, how much bill I should pay to you. Right? Because that's for our cure. So what pleases Ram is good. Even though in material estimation is not good. And what displeases Ram, Krishna, Guru is bad. Even though material estimation it may be good. So we are in association of devotees to learn what is pleasing to Krishna. What is pleasing to Srila Prabhupada? What is pleasing to spiritual master? What is pleasing to Vaishnavas? What is pleasing to Guru Parampara? Then our actions are successful. Then our occupation is successful. Then our life is successful. If they are not pleased, then our austerity, our knowledge, our penance, our fasting, our actions, our decisions, our speech is all unsuccessful. It is useless, waste of labor. Shrama eva hi kevalam, donkey's work. So we learn this important lesson from Ramayana, that whatever skills we have, it should be used for Lord Ram, Lord Krishna. Hanuman is a monkey, and the skill of a monkey is to jump, and he jumped. Monkeys anyway jump, he also jumped, but when he jumped, Ram got pleased. And he didn't do a small jump, he did a long jump, 800 miles. 800 miles long jump to search for Mother Sita. And not only he got the address of Mother Sita, he burnt Ravana's Lanka, killed lots of his soldiers, burnt many of his weapons, killed many Rakshasas, and got estimation of Ravana's power, which he can relate to Lord Ram, and already did some disturbance, some reduce his strength. So that's the job of Hanuman, to unite Mother Sita and Ram as a first class servant. And we are here in ISKCON to become servants. So we should learn to become first class servants, to please our master, to please Sri Sri Radharas Piyari, to please Sri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, to please Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, to please Srila Prabhupada, to please our spiritual master, to please all the Vaishnavas. Then only we can hope to become successful in Krishna consciousness. So our job is to unite Sita and Ram. All objects around us should be used in the service of Krishna. Our body should be used in the service of Krishna. Our resources, our contacts, our skills, our talent, our money, everything should be used in the service of Krishna. Then only our life is successful. So when Lord Ram was at the ocean, before building the bridge, wanted to cross the ocean, that time Vibhishan, who was repeatedly requesting Ravan to not to fight with Ram and give Mother Sita back. At that time Ravana, he insulted Vibhishan so much that finally Vibhishan left Lanka and flew across the ocean to join Lord Ram with his associates. So when Vibhishan came, he was in the sky, he had not yet touched the ground. Sugriva and other monkeys saw, and they thought some spies have come from Rakshasa side. So they wanted to kill him. So Vibhishan folded his hands and told Sugriva, look, I am Ravana's brother and I have realized my brother is wrong. So I have come here to surrender to Lord Ram. So please make me meet Lord Ram. So Sugriva said, you wait in the sky, we will discuss and get back to you. So Sugriva, Jamvan, Mainda, Dvida, Hanuman, Angad, they all went to Lord Ram and Lakshman. And they told Vibhishan has come. So Lord Ram asked Sugriva, you tell me, all of you, what is your advice? So everybody advised against accepting Vibhishan. They said Vibhishan is Ravana's brother. So there is a very high chance he has come as a spy to find out our information. So he will stay with us as our friend, and who knows, he will attack us within, or he must have come with a plan. And it's dangerous to keep enemy's brother in your camp. Even today he has fought with Ravan and come. When he cannot be truthful and loyal to his brother, how can we hope he will be truthful and loyal to us? During the battle when Ravana is getting defeated, he may again change sides because emotionally he will be attached to his brother. Even his brother is wrong but is about to die, he may change sides, and during the battle he may play a game. He is Rakshasa. Nobody can believe a demon, a Rakshasa. So everybody said, no, we should not accept him, we should kill him, we should torture him, we should arrest him. Hanuman said, I think he is genuine, we should accept him. So Lord Ramchandra finally gave his verdict, and he said, anybody who comes at my shelter, I cannot say him no. So I will accept him. Even if he is not genuine, I will accept him because he has come at my shelter. And then he tells this verse, which we just now read, which we will read again, where Lord Ramchandra says, Sakrad eva prapanno yas tavasmiti cha yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vritam mama. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. So Lord Ramchandra has taken a vow in his life that anybody comes once seriously and says, my dear Lord, मैं आपका हूँ, I am yours, I will immediately accept him, however sinful, fallen conditions हो. And I'll give him fearlessness, abhayam, courage. So that's his mercy. And we have this opportunity because we are staying in Ayodhya, in Sitaram's house. Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman are right here in our altar. So tomorrow morning we go to him, hold our hands and, my dear Lord, I am yours, मैं आपका हूँ. And he will accept us. Or if you are not ready tomorrow, Ram Navami is coming. More merciful. My dear Lord, I am yours. And he will accept us. And that's the glory of our life. Otherwise our life is waste. If we don't surrender to Krishna this life, the next life we become dog or cat or cockroach or snake or bird or fish or tree or insect or ant or coronavirus. What is your choice? So big menu is there, 84 lakh species. But we want to go back to Krishna, we want to go back to Golok Vrindavan. So this life, human form of life, is an opportunity to surrender to Krishna. And festivals is an opportunity where we receive more mercy. So every day we should continue our sadhana. This chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is also the same prayer. My dear Lord, I am yours. Please engage me in your service. Praying to Srimati Radharani to give us mercy of Krishna, to engage us in service of Krishna is the same prayer Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. So with this service attitude we should chant, with dependence on Krishna. All devotional activities we perform while paying obeisances or honoring Charnamrit or Prasadam or Mangalarti or any service in the day, with that service attitude that I am servant of Krishna. With that we should chant, with that we should perform service, that I am servant of Krishna. He is my master. He is supreme creator, supreme controller, supreme proprietor, supreme maintainer, supreme enjoyer, and I am his part and parcel servant. With that attitude, that's called self-realization. Self-realization means I am servant of Krishna. Clear. No other identification. Das, that's why when we get initiated, we are Krishna Das. We are Ram Das, we are Aditya Ram Das, servant of Krishna. We are Gokuleshwar Das. That's our identification, that I am servant of Krishna. And in that way, our life is perfect. Otherwise, useless. Okay? We'll end here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions? Yes.
So you were telling that how Ram was very expert, he killed 14,000 Rakshasas within 2 hours only. And also we understand that Ram completely exhibited the common man. He never showed any mystic powers like that. But when Ram was shooting arrows, so if we take numbers like number of arrows, we must have shot maybe 14,000. So how that arrows must have come from? There is no mystic power. So
Why there is no mystic power?
as we hear that Ram completely showed the common human behavior. From there
Yeah, but he has mystic power. He is existing right with this mystic power. He appeared with this mystic power. He is not away from. He didn't often display that. That's what you are saying, right? He didn't often display that. But his very beauty is his mystic power. His very walk is his mystic power. His appearing on earth planet is his mystic power. He is not. He didn't display it much. That's what you are saying, right? That's okay. But that doesn't mean there was zero display. Right? And there was who to watch there. Only Rakshasas were watching. They anyway got killed. So there is no proof. Right? It is written. There is no audience. So that's okay. Huh? Okay? So he didn't display it often. Okay. Any more questions?
But
Yeah.
you also explained about this those who are earning members, and if they are earning for themselves, they are like keeping Lakshmi away from Narayan. So those who are like working, they have aspiration of earning more. So if they have that aspiration, so that comes in the same category, or it is different category of it. If it is coming in same category, then how we can avoid it?
So, desiring to get more and more wealth is greed, and that's anartha. So, one should be satisfied with what one obtains with minimal work, hard work, which doesn't disturb one's devotional service. So, by disturbing our health or our sadhana, our service, we try to earn more than what we need. That's called greed. And that will never end. Even if you get whole earth, if you give a greedy person whole earth planet, he will not be satisfied. He will say, I want moon. And that's why they are trying already to do honeymoon on moon. So that's greed. So one should be very satisfied with what one is easily obtained, living a simple life, and any excess income should go to Krishna. One should not be money conscious. Easily obtained wealth is okay, but not so hard work that my chanting is disturbed, my reading, hearing is disturbed, my darshan is disturbed, my mangalarati is disturbed. That's not good. Because the goal of life is not money. There are enough people with so much money, and when they die, they become dog and cat next life. So any intelligent person should think, I am working hard for money and next life I become a dog and cat. Is that a good proposal? Not a good proposal at all. So, yes, any excess income we should give in charity to Krishna, to sadhus, to cows. And we should not be greedy. Have a simple lifestyle, less expenses, and busy in Krishna's service. And a small source of income which will survive one's grahastha and his dependents. Okay? Any more questions?
हरे कृष्णा, अभी किसी का अगर प्रश्न है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं. सबको अनम्यूट कर दिया गया है. Anybody having any question, please ask, and so we will reply.
Yes, others.
you have said that pride is very second level. So when we have also get pride, so how to conquer that pride?
So we should, it's a very big topic actually, but we should pay respect to others. We should value others. We should not value ourselves more. And we should do menial services. And we should be very clear about this knowledge that Krishna is everything. Whatever is happening, I am just an instrument. Krishna is everything. So he gets the credit. I don't get the credit. He is the creator, he is the controller, he is the master, he is the enjoyer. I am dash. Fill in the blanks. So, I have nothing. Servant of Krishna. Okay. No value. Okay. What is the value of servant? No value. So as soon as we start giving value, pride ends. Pride ends. If you are no value or low value, you can surrender to Krishna. High value, you will not reach Krishna. You know, there was one person, he went to this shop. Big Bazaar? No, what is that? Shopper's stop. He purchased something. So in return, he got a bill and 1 rupee coin. So he put that coin in his purse, wallet. So there was already 2000 rupee note inside the panel, inside his wallet. So he put 1 rupee coin also. And he put the wallet in his pocket and drove in the car. So that 2000 saw 1 rupee. Hey, 1 rupee? Why are you with me? You know who am I? I am 2000. You are just 1 rupee. What is your value? 1 रुपये में कुछ मिलता है? कुछ नहीं मिलता है. I have been in Ambani's pocket once. I have been in Sachin Tendulkar's pocket. I have been in Aishwarya Rai's purse. I have been to London. I have been to Paris. Where have you been? That 1 rupee said, look, I never went to London, Paris, or Sachin Tendulkar's or Ambani's packet. I never went. But I have been to Radha Rasbai's hundi. I have been to Krishna Balram's hundi. I have been to Mayapur's hundi, Radha Madhav. Because people in the hundi don't put 2000, they put 1 rupee. Right? Anybody put 2000? But they put coins. So if you are a coin, you will go to Krishna. Otherwise it in somebody's purse. Right? So low value. Okay? Any more questions? Yes, Rajat.
When Sari told you were mentioning insignificant servant here in Mali. So, could you please elaborate a little bit on this servant and insignificant servant? How to understand the difference? Is there any difference? Or what? Then if there is no difference, then what is actual understanding?
Yeah, that in my estimate, I don't give value to myself that I am significant or I am great or what I am doing is very important. So I don't estimate myself more than others. I estimate myself insignificant. Menial servant. Haridas Thakur told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving high value to Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur actually wanted to leave his body before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu winds up his pastime. So he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please give me permission, I want to leave my body. Chaitanya said, come on Haridas, if you leave then I will be sad. How I don't have good association, I want to be with you. Haridas Thakur folded his hand, my dear Lord, don't joke with me. I am insignificant servant. If one ant dies, does it matter to the universe? Doesn't matter. So you have millions of pure devotees serving you. I am an ant. If I die, it will not matter to anybody. Please let me leave my body. Right? So when we estimate, right, ourselves in our thoughts, it should be low. If you estimate yourself less than last year of what you estimated, that means you are promoting in Krishna consciousness. That means you are advancing in bhakti. If you estimate more, that means pride is developing. Right? So that's insignificant. And that's true. From servant of Krishna to servant of Krishna is a promotion, is an advancement in spiritual life. So we don't want to become boss ka boss, we want to become das ka das. Servant of Krishna. That's advancement. Right? So we should do our service nicely, but we should not think that because of me it is happening. The credit goes to Krishna and devotees. So because of them, I am an insignificant instrument. Right? Just like, let's assume that this class is nice. And after I go, you discuss among yourselves, this class is nice. And the speaker, he says, I gave very nice class because you heard speaker. Let's assume you didn't hear from this mouth, you heard from this speaker. So this speaker says, I gave nice class, takes the credit. What will you respond? Huh? You are instrument, you didn't give class. You are just instrument to broadcast. Actual class was given by Prabhuji, right? In the same way, I should know that this body is just an instrument. Actual knowledge is Krishna's. I am not giving good class. This body is also a speaker only, right? Little sophisticated, earpiece, mouthpiece, stand, right? But speaker only, right? But if I think that it's because of me, this class is nice, I am taking credit, then that's pride. Right? So we are instruments. Krishna is using us to do certain things in the world. It's not me. Without Krishna, zero. If Paramatma leaves the heart, right now this body will collapse. We cannot even speak. We cannot breathe. We cannot remember what we will speak. Right? So we are instruments. And we are third class instruments. Still Krishna is using us. He has much better instruments. He has much better people around him to take care of all the services, including preaching. But he is using us. That is his mercy. So we should be grateful for being engaged in his service. Not proud. Right? So success is not happening because of us. Success is happening in spite of us. We are there, still success is happening. Right? So that's Krishna's mercy. Okay? Any more questions? Yes, Pranav. What is the initiated name?
Prasanna Ramdas.
Prasanna Ramdas. Wow. Yeah.
So when the services, when we have opportunities to serve, so what should we do? We should grab, like, we should think that we are insignificant, then what should we do when services come? Or like they are not assigned to us, but we see that, oh, this can be done, this can be done. So what should we do?
Grab means?
Should we ask that, can I do this service?
Yes, no problem. We are servants. What will servant do? Servant means what? Finish. Servant means service. So that's our nature, to serve. Otherwise, if you are sitting idle, you are serving your mind. So you are doing service anyway. Either you serve dog or you serve God. You have to serve. So what is good? DOG or GOD? So service we are doing anyway, to our mind, to our senses, so-called masters. Service we are doing anyway, better to serve Krishna. Right? But no grab. It should be with etiquette. We should know we are not qualified. but we are servants. We want to become nice servants. So the service will purify us. So we can request our authorities with folded hands, please engage me in service. And if there is some service around, like this room is unclean and nobody is cleaning, we should not wait. We can clean, no problem. Or we can inform and clean, or seek permission and clean, that I want to clean. Right? We should serve. We should serve devotees, we should serve Krishna. Prabhu, can I wash your clothes? Can I clean the room? Can I offer you prasadam? Right? If nothing, sit and do kirtan in the temple. Chant, read. So we should do services. Servant's job is to do service. Right? So, first class, second class, third class servants. Second class is one who does as soon as he is told. First class is one who does even though he is not told, because he knows what is to be done. Third class is one who is told but he does not do. So we don't want to become third class. We want to become second class and then first class. That it's not told, you know what to do. Right? You know what is required by the master. And we do that. Right? Right, this glass got empty, somebody refilled it. It was not told. Maybe the first time it was told, I don't know. But second time it was refilled. That's called without telling. That's first class service. Right? So, we have to learn to become first class. First class. A1. So, but no grab. That, I mean, I know you didn't meant that, but let's change the language. No grab. Request to be engaged in Krishna service. And when we are staying in temple for a long time, we know what is to be done sometimes. So we can go ahead and do it. Nobody is going to tell you why you are cleaning the temple. Right? So we can go ahead and do some services. As we become mature, we should use our intelligence to execute services. Okay? Okay, Aditya Ram Prabhu? We'll end here. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Hare Krishna.
So, actually when Prabhuji was telling in the question answer session regarding the attitude of a servant, so I could actually visualize from last few days I was having some interaction with Prabhuji. So I could visualize Prabhuji is not just speaking, actually it happened, so I could see that is in the personality of Prabhuji. Like yesterday, Prabhuji, he actually when we have to go and ask the senior devotees how I can serve him. But Prabhuji personally offered his service to me. He said that I want to serve in that way. So it was like, so I could feel, I was so much obliged, like how such a senior devotee is asking like that. So, and today also Prabhuji was telling what is the biggest degree. So he was telling about Das. He said DAS, that is the biggest degree. He was telling about himself that Das is the biggest degree that he got. So we are very thankful that Prabhuji offered his valuable time and very much, so much valuable lessons he gave to us through Ramayana. So we are very thankful and we would like to appreciate and show our gratitude towards him by most loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna.